What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I have the keys to the 2021 Lexus LX570. Huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website, that will be down in the description below. This model here is finished off in eminent white pearl and it has an MSRP just over $101,000. Let's go ahead and jump into today's review by starting up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 5.7 liter V8 engine. This is paired with the 8-speed automatic transmission and it pumps out 383 horsepower around 5,600 RPM and 403 pound-feet of torque around 3,600 RPM. This model features the 4-wheel drive system. It weighs in right around 6,000 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 around 7 seconds up to its top speed of 154 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 24.5 gallons, you can expect to see around 12 miles per gallon in the city and 16 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 112.2 inches. Its overall length measures 200 inches. It has a width of 78, a height of 75.2 inches. It also has ground clearance of 8.9 inches and an approach angle of 25 degrees, a breakover angle of 23 degrees, and a departure angle of 20 degrees. And with all of those specs out of the way, now we can jump into the exterior walk around on the LX570. So I'm going to start up front here with the grille. You can see it has an hourglass shaped design to it, and I think the dark finish on it complements the white nicely. It has a really nice design to it. We have the Lexus badge right in the center, which is also part of the forward-facing front sensor, so it's nicely incorporated into that. You can see the forward-facing camera just underneath that, along with a few parking sensors and plenty of cutouts in this grille to provide maximum cooling. You'll also notice a really cool design running down both sides, and then the whole surround has a really nice brushed chrome finish to it. So I think it ties in nicely and just gives it a great look. And then on both sides of that, we have the LED headlights, DRLs, and the turn signals. You can see the turn signals are on the base of the headlight housing itself. This model also has headlight washers, so you'll see that just below, so you can utilize that if you need to. And then down below, we have a really nice shape to the LED fog light housings, along with some more parking sensors. Really nice contoured lines running throughout the whole front section, and then you can see even more of those up on the hood. We have really nice lines that meet the top of the grille here, and then a few running right down the center. And now making our way to the side profile, we'll start off with these 21-inch wheels. They're finished off in gloss black, have a 10-spoke design to them, and I really like the accent of them against this exterior white. You'll also notice more gloss black on the power folding side mirrors. They have the integrated turn signal and a camera underneath each one. I will show that system later on in this video. Up on the roof, you can see the black roof rails. This model also features a sunroof, and there's even more gloss black surrounding all of the window trim, and it's also on the door handles. This model also has running boards, which makes it much easier to enter and exit the vehicle. And you'll also notice this has the adaptive suspension. It's currently in the exit and entry mode at the moment, making it very easy to get in and out. And then of course you can raise this model. It'll give you much better off-road performance with the numbers that I mentioned earlier. And then you can tell the side profile has very clean lines. There is one just above the front tire. It runs through the door handles and all the way to the taillights. And finishing up in the rear, you'll see up top this has a body colored spoiler along with the integrated third brake light that's tucked up nicely just underneath it. This model has LED taillights with a really nice design throughout the housing. It also has a split power liftgate, which I'll show later in this video, along with the backup camera and parking sensors in the body colored bumper. It also has a towing capacity up to 7,000 pounds. Now it's time to go ahead and take a look at the interior on the LX570. With the vehicle locked and the key in my pocket, all I have to do is grab on the door handle. You can hear it unlock, and now we can go ahead and take a look at this door panel, where right off the bat you can see red leather on the top along with black leather on the armrest. Really nice wood trim just above that, and then a dark finish just in between that. You can see the release handle along with the memory seating adjustments. All of the window and mirror controls are just underneath that. You can see more leather on the grab handle. This also has a 19-speaker Mark Levinson audio sound system, and you can see there's a good amount of storage space in the lower section of the door. And moving on to the door sill now, you'll see Lexus spelled out along with down on the floor mats, and you can see the red trim surrounding them, which is a really nice touch to see. And now we can move on to these black leather seats. They are heated and ventilated, have a really nice design to them with more of the red accents running through the inserts. And of course they are power adjusting, so we have all of those controls down on the side. And now once inside with my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and start it up. You'll see on the gauge cluster on the left side, we have the tach along with the engine temperature and oil temperature. On the right side is the miles per hour along with the fuel gauge and the battery voltage. And then right in the center, there's a lot of information that you can go through using buttons on the right side of the steering wheel. Or you can look at your trip information, so you can look at your current and average MPG along with your range. You can also look at an eco indicator. There's your miles per hour that you can pull up as well, along with the outside temperature. And there's also a sway warning. So if you've been driving this vehicle for a long period of time, it will tell you when you need to pull over and take a break. You can also scroll over and look at where your front tires are placed. So just by turning the steering wheel, you can see that diagram change. And then you can look at your TPMS along with your oil life. You can scroll over and look at the compass, and then you also have your Bluetooth when that is paired. You can turn on and off your cruise control along with your lane keeping assist, any messages that will pop up. And then the last one is settings. So you can go into this and configure a few things from your oil to your heads-up display, along with your blind spot monitor and lane departure assist. And then making our way to the steering wheel now, you'll see it has a really nice finish to it, along with leather on both sides. Over on the right side, this is how I was controlling that screen. You have a back button along with a customizable button as well. And then here's where you can adjust your lane departure assist along with the distance pacing. And then over on the left side, you have volume and modes for the radio, along with Bluetooth and voice commands. And then making our way to the left side of the steering wheel, down below, there's a small storage bin you can pop out to place any items there. We also have the heads-up display, which you can turn on and off, along with some auto headlight adjustments. You can see there's one air vent along with more of that wood trim. And then making our way to the center, we have the 12.3-inch screen. So this is really easy to use. There's a lot of information that you can go through. So I'll be using all of these buttons down below. You can see there's a really nice leather pad to rest your hand. We have a mouse right in the middle here, so you can use that. Along with a map button, you can see menu and the back button along with some arrows. There's also an enter button on both sides of this pad, so your passenger can use this as well. So just by clicking on menu, you'll see this pop up here, where you can look at your map. You have your radio and media, phone. There's also the climate controls you can go into. So just by clicking on enter, we can go into this. You can use that mouse to go through all this information. So you can adjust where you'd like the air to go, along with the fan speed. You can go to the temperature as well. You have a 4-zone climate control system in this vehicle. And then over on the far right, you can see these are basically fixed settings. So you have the navigation, music, and phone. So these are shortcuts to be able to get to all of that information. And you can see the screen is tucked away nicely. There's some more trim just in front of that. Gives it a really nice design. Moving below that, you'll see there's a clock along with 2 air vents. We have the engine start stop button on the left side. You can see there's a CD player right in the middle. We have power and volume for the radio, and then tuning on the right side. And you have some shortcuts to those over on the left. As I mentioned earlier, this has a 4-zone climate control system. So if you'd like to adjust the temperature just by using these dials for your driver and passenger, you can do that along with the fan speed. Moving all the way to the bottom, I can go ahead and open this up. There is a wireless charging port down there along with a 12 volt. You have some auxiliaries over on the left side. And then below that, you can see there are 2 cup holders, so we can open that up or close it depending on if you're using it or not, of course. You can see the electronic parking brake on the left side. And then moving on to the shifter now, you'll see it's finished off in leather. Before we put the vehicle into reverse, there is a view button on the left side of the engine start stop button there. If you push on that, that will bring up the forward-facing camera along with the top-down view. If you push on it again, now we are looking at the side mirror cameras. And if you push on it for a third time, that will disappear. So that's really nice to be able to utilize the forward-facing camera. And then if we put the vehicle into reverse, you can see the rear-facing camera along with that top-down view. And we can use that mouse pad that I showed earlier, and now we can bring up the full screen for the backup camera if you'd like to do that, or we have the split style. So it's very nice to have all of that visibility. Just behind that, you can see the heated and ventilated seat controls along with the heated steering wheel. We have those controls for the passenger seat on the other side. And then right in the center are all of the 4-wheel drive modes for this vehicle. So we have a differential lock that allows you to turn the vehicle. You can see an on and off for the uphill and downhill assist, along with traction control, the center locking diff, along with the ECT button. And then on the right side, this is how you adjust the ride height for the vehicle. As you saw earlier, we have the 4 high and 4 low indicator. And then the dial on the right side is for the different driving modes, where you'll see there's a lot of different settings from Eco, there's Sport S, Sport S Plus, and there's also Comfort as well. And then the dial on the right side is for the crawl control. So you can use this when you're off-road, and it's basically cruise control for off-road. Depending on the terrain that you're in, you can use that, which is really nice to see. Looking at the center armrest now, it's covered in leather, and this model also has a fridge right in the center. You can turn that on and off, so you can put in food, cold drinks, anything like that, and be able to take them with you. And then looking at the glove box now, you can see there's a lot of storage space with a split shelf design, so you can utilize that. we'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this model does have a sunroof, so we can go ahead and open up that sunshade. We have all of those controls for the sunroof right in the middle, along with a sunglass holder and the touch-sensitive dome lights. Jumping into the back seats now of the LX570, I'll start off with the amount of room that you have. At 5'10", I have plenty of room for my legs with the front seat set at my height, and I have about 4 or 5 inches above my head. So you can have 2 other people in here and be equally as comfortable. These seats are also all the way back, and I can recline them almost flat. So if you're going on a long cruise, you can be well comfortable in the back seats if you need to be. Right in the center, you'll see there's 2 air vents along with some nice wood trim. There's a 12 volt down below. You have a little bit of storage space behind both front seats. And then on the door panels here, you do have manual adjusting sunshades, so you can put those up if you need to. And then my favorite part is right in the middle. So if you don't have a middle passenger here, you have 2 cup holders that you can open up in the front section. There's a little bit of storage space in the back. And then you have all of the controls for the heated and ventilated seats, along with the fan speed. You have a dual zone climate control system for your second row, so you can adjust where you'd like the air to go along with the temperature, and you have an LCD screen to be able to view all of that information. These seats also fold flat as well to give you a little bit more versatility. And then along with folding flat, you can also put these all the way up, and that gives you plenty of room to hop into the third row. And once in the third row now, I'm surprised with the amount of room that I have. You can see there's a few inches above my head. This seat is all the way in the backwards position, and you can see there's a few inches in front of my knees. The seats are a little bit low, so my knees are up high, but I could be comfortable in the back seats here with someone next to me and go on a long cruise. So it's nice how these are functional for full-size adults if you need the extra space. There's also 4 cup holders in the back here as well, along with 4 air vents, so even your third row passengers can be comfortable. And now finishing up, we'll go ahead and take a look at the rear storage space. So I'm just going to use the electronic button up underneath the top section of the split level power liftgate. You'll see that automatically open up. And then to open up the lower one, you're just going to pull on this handle here, and that will fold down, giving you a good area to sit if you'd like to. So if you want to tailgate in your LX570, you have the space to do that. And then you can also open up the flooring space of this. You have a little bit of storage space on the left side, and then over on the right side, there's a toolkit. So if you need to use that, great placement for it. And then with the third row up, you can see there's a little bit of storage space, and Lexus has made it very easy to fold down this third row. So there's buttons over on the right side. You can just push on these to fold the backrests down. And then if you hold on the up arrows here, they will automatically fold up, so you don't even have to do anything. And you'll see that gives you a lot more storage space when you have the second row up. And then if you fold the second row down like you saw earlier to get into the third row, that just gives you a little bit more storage space. And then you can use these buttons to go ahead and fold the third row back down. And then from there is a grab handle on the backrest, so you can use that to pull the seat and lock it into place. Very nice to be able to do that. There's also a 3-prong outlet on the left side. We can go ahead and close the bottom, push on this button on the top, it will automatically close. All right, so getting the 2021 Lexus LX570 out on the road now, the first thing that I want to talk about is just how big this SUV is. It's a full 3-row vehicle, so it offers a ton of storage space on the inside, but it's also a very big SUV at the same time. With that said, however, it's very maneuverable. I've put a few miles on it so far, and it's easy to drive, even with the size of it. Visibility is really good. You have that camera system that I showed earlier, and when you come to a stop, the side mirror cameras actually pop up on the center screen, so that just makes you more aware of what's around you. If you're at a stoplight and you're making a right turn, you can see if there's a curb or something, and that just adds to the visibility of driving this. So it's super convenient to have that camera system for this vehicle. And then the overall visibility, just looking around, there's plenty of glass, so I love how open it is on the interior here. You can look over your left shoulder, you can look over your right shoulder, and there's really not any blind spots with the pillars in the back. And then just talking about the interior, I love all of the materials on the inside of this model. We have leather everywhere, we have the really nice red accents that really pop, especially with the white exterior of this model. We have really nice wood trim, there's piano black covering the controls right in the middle here. It's a really good layout. I love how everything is divided, and you have the basic controls that you need, like the physical buttons for the AC, which is a great touch to see. And then there's also all of the 4-wheel drive modes. So if you want to take your Lexus off-road or get it on some trails, you have all of those controls down below. But with this 5.7 liter V8 and a 6,000 pound vehicle, let's give it a little bit of gas here. and we're getting up to the speed limit there. Definitely has plenty of power. It's a heavy vehicle, but at the same time, you can utilize this engine to get up to speed, even with a fully loaded vehicle, and you can tow up to 7,000 pounds, which is a pretty healthy number. And now just talking about what it's like to drive, I've had the vehicle in comfort mode for the majority of this test drive, and as you would expect, it's been very comfortable. It's absorbing bumps very well. I went ahead and just put it into Sport Plus. You can feel it stiffen up slightly over some of these bumps here. It's nothing crazy, but you can definitely feel there is a difference, which is of course noticeable and nice to see at the same time. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of the 2021 Lexus LX570. Once again, massive shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. That will be down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on our daily uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video.